Did you know that your bedroom, the very place you trust for rest and recovery, might be quietly harming your body every night? If you're over 65, this isn't just a mild concern. It's a real and growing risk that could be disrupting your sleep, memory, and even heart health without you realizing it. You may be eating right, staying active, taking your medications, and still wake up feeling groggy, stiff, or mentally foggy. The real issue could be sitting just inches from your pillow. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 hidden sources of radiation in your bedroom that could be weakening your body night after night, and share a few simple adjustments you can make starting today to restore deep, healing sleep. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop a comment below. Even a quick check-in means a lot to me. And if this video brings value to your life, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss another tip tailored just for your health and well-being. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary, a safe, peaceful place where your body can recharge. But for many older adults, especially those over 65, an invisible threat may be sitting quietly right on the nightstand. It doesn't buzz, blink, or make noise, but it's doing more harm than you think. That digital alarm clock, for example, might be subtly affecting your health, particularly if it's plugged in and sits close to your head at night. Most digital clocks emit low-level electromagnetic fields, EMFs. These invisible waves flow constantly, even when the device appears still. When placed just 6 to 12 inches from your brain, as many alarm clocks are, this exposure becomes chronic, and your nervous system may stay under stress all night long without your awareness. As we age, our body's ability to repair itself diminishes. That makes seniors more sensitive to environmental stressors like EMFs, especially during sleep, when the body should be restoring itself. So if you often wake up with headaches, mental fog, or a heavy feeling, and your doctor says everything's fine, it may not be aging, it might be EMFs. Consider Evelyn, a 73-year-old retired teacher from Oregon. Despite living a healthy lifestyle, she was constantly tired and plagued by morning headaches. After reading about EMF exposure, she swapped her digital clock for a battery-powered analog one and moved it across the room. In just a few days, her sleep improved dramatically. No more headaches, no more fog. It felt like I woke up from years of sleep under a cloud, she said. Science backs her up. EMFs can suppress melatonin, the hormone that controls your sleep cycle and supports immune function. When melatonin drops, your sleep suffers, and so does your body's ability to heal. The good news? The solution is simple. Replace your digital alarm clock with a battery-operated one. Or, if you prefer to keep it, move it at least 6 feet from your bed. For seniors, even small environmental changes can have a big impact. Your body is always trying to tell you something, through fatigue, discomfort, or restlessness. It might be time to listen. The problem isn't always internal. It might be just a few inches away, glowing softly through the night. By adjusting your bedroom environment, you give your body the quiet, low-stress space it needs to heal. Better sleep means better energy, better focus, and even better heart health. And when you wake up feeling rested and clear, everything else, from cooking breakfast to remembering names, feels easier. You deserve rest that truly restores you. Start with this one simple step tonight and let your body finally get the sleep it's been waiting for. For many older adults, the bedroom is meant to be a quiet refuge, a place to escape the noise of the world and allow the mind to rest. But what if that very space of peace was filled with something silent, invisible, yet powerful enough to disrupt your memory, your heart rhythm, and your sleep? This might sound dramatic, but more and more studies are confirming what many seniors are starting to suspect. Wi-Fi routers and wireless devices may be silently affecting your brain and body overnight. If you're over 65, the effect may be even more intense because the natural defenses in your body are no longer as strong as they once were. One of the most overlooked but critical barriers inside your body is called the blood-brain barrier. Think of it as a filter, protecting your brain from harmful substances circulating in your bloodstream. As we age, this barrier becomes more porous, more fragile, and less effective at keeping toxins and disturbances away from sensitive brain tissue. Now add in constant exposure to pulsed radio frequency waves, like those from your Wi-Fi router, which can operate 24 hours a day, just a few feet from your head. The risk becomes less hypothetical and more immediate, especially when the body is in its most vulnerable state. Deep sleep. It's not uncommon for older adults to wake up feeling groggy, mentally cloudy, or emotionally drained, even after going to bed early. This isn't always just normal aging. Sometimes it's your brain's way of signaling that something's not right. Something might be interfering with its natural healing process at night. We now know that EMF exposure can weaken memory, increase heart rate variability, and disrupt your body's production of melatonin, the very hormone that helps you fall into deep, healing sleep. Let me share the story of Stanley, a 71-year-old retired engineer from Michigan. He loved technology and always kept up with the latest gadgets. His Wi-Fi router sat conveniently on his bedroom dresser, just 8 feet from where he slept. He liked being connected even while resting and never thought twice about it until his memory began to fade. He started forgetting where he placed his keys, mixing up appointments, and repeating stories to his wife without realizing it. Worse still, he noticed fluttering sensations in his chest and frequent dizziness, which concerned his family. His cardiologist ran several tests and found no major issues, but then asked Stanley a surprising question: "Where is your router at night?" That one question changed everything. Stanley decided to move his router to the far corner of his house, downstairs in his home office. He even connected it to a simple outlet timer so it would shut off automatically at 11 p.m. and turn back on at 7 a.m. Within just 3 weeks, his sleep quality improved. The heart flutters disappeared and his memory began to sharpen again. His wife noticed he was more alert in the mornings, more present at breakfast, and even remembered their neighbors' names again. At his next doctor's visit, Stanley's cognitive test scores had improved by nearly 30%. So what's the lesson here? Even a small, passive device like a Wi-Fi router can have outsized effects on a senior's health if placed in the wrong location. The solution isn't complicated, and you don't have to give up the convenience of modern technology. You just have to make it work with your biology, not against it. If your router is in or near your bedroom, consider moving it to a different floor, or at least to the farthest corner of your home. If moving it isn't practical, use an outlet timer to shut it off automatically during the night. You don't need constant Wi-Fi while you sleep. And if you're open to it, consider using a wired Ethernet connection for better safety, especially in your bedroom. Wired connections not only reduce radiation exposure, but also improve internet stability, which can be helpful if you work from home or enjoy video calls with family. In our later years, the little things matter more than ever, especially when it comes to sleep, memory, and heart health. Your body works hard each night to rebuild, restore, and protect you from long-term damage. But it can't do that if it's being bathed in disruptive signals for 8 hours straight. By making this one small change, relocating or deactivating your Wi-Fi at night, you're giving your brain the quiet it craves and the darkness it needs to heal. And in return, you may notice brighter mornings, clearer thoughts, and a heart that feels just a bit more steady. Because sometimes the answer to better health isn't another pill or another test. It's simply rethinking what's sitting quietly next to your bed. There's something comforting about a fresh-smelling bedroom, a subtle scent that makes the space feel clean, safe, and peaceful at the end of the day. For many older adults, especially those living alone, keeping their home pleasantly scented becomes part of a routine, a way to create a warm, welcoming environment. But what if that quiet scent was doing more harm than good, especially to your lungs, your sleep, and your energy during the day? It may be time to take a closer look at something as small as a plug-in air freshener. Electric air fresheners are found in millions of homes across the country. They're convenient, affordable, and promise weeks of fragrance with no maintenance. But what most people don't realize is that these devices do more than release scent. They also release a steady stream of electromagnetic radiation EMFs while plugged into the wall. At the same time, they emit volatile organic compounds, tiny airborne particles that can irritate the lungs, especially when inhaled during sleep. This creates a double burden for your respiratory system: constant exposure to EMFs, combined with the slow buildup of synthetic chemicals in the air you breathe. For older adults, this burden becomes even heavier. As we age, lung function naturally declines, and the airways become more sensitive to irritants that younger lungs might handle without issue. Aging lungs also recover more slowly, meaning that exposure to everyday toxins, even mild ones, can lead to long-term inflammation, chronic cough, or difficulty breathing. Let me share the story of Virginia, a 77-year-old widow from Florida. Virginia loved keeping her home tidy and fresh. She used plug-in air fresheners in nearly every room, including the one by her bed, because she enjoyed the relaxing smell of lavender at night. But over time, she began noticing a dry, scratchy feeling in her throat, followed by a lingering cough that wouldn't go away. At first, she blamed it on allergies or seasonal changes. She tried cough syrup, drank warm tea, and even installed a humidifier, but nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until she spent a week at her daughter's house, with no air fresheners around, that she finally noticed a difference. Her cough subsided, her breathing felt easier, and she woke up without that tight, uncomfortable sensation in her chest. When she returned home, her daughter gently suggested removing all the plug-in devices from her bedroom and living spaces. Virginia agreed, though she was hesitant. She had used them for years and loved how her home smelled. Instead, they placed small bowls of baking soda in each room to absorb odors and added a few cotton balls with essential oil near her dresser, far from her bed. Within days, her breathing improved again. She felt more rested in the morning, less congested, and even noticed she was sleeping more deeply than before. Her pulmonologist was surprised at how quickly her lung function rebounded after years of struggling with chronic respiratory irritation. And perhaps most importantly, Virginia felt empowered, like she had regained a bit of control over her body and her home environment. Scientific studies now confirm that electric air fresheners can release chemicals like formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates into the air. Substances known to irritate the respiratory tract and in high concentrations contribute to long-term health risks during sleep. When breathing becomes slower and deeper, these substances have more time to settle in the lungs and enter the bloodstream. And when combined with low-level EMFs radiating from the device itself, the impact on senior health becomes more significant. So what's the better option? Start by unplugging all electric air fresheners from your bedroom, especially if they're close to your head while sleeping. Next, try natural alternatives, like a bowl of baking soda in the corner of the room. It quietly absorbs odors without adding anything harmful to the air. If you enjoy pleasant scents, use essential oils like lavender or cedar on a cotton ball placed across the room from your bed. Even dried herbs or flowers in a breathable sachet can provide a light, calming aroma without introducing harmful chemicals or radiation. The key is to allow your bedroom to return to its natural state, a place where the air is clear, the environment is gentle, and your body can relax without interference. You don't have to give up comfort or cleanliness to protect your lungs and your rest. You simply have to be mindful of what's surrounding you while you sleep. Because in this stage of life, every breath matters. Every night of deep, uninterrupted sleep matters. And sometimes the biggest improvements begin with the smallest changes, like what you choose to plug in beside your bed. On cold nights, nothing feels more comforting than slipping into a warm bed. For many seniors, especially those living in cooler climates or dealing with joint pain, an electric blanket or heating pad can seem like the perfect solution. It provides immediate warmth, soothes stiffness, and creates a sense of coziness that helps ease the body into rest. But what if that very warmth was quietly interfering with your health night after night, without you even realizing it? Electric blankets and plug-in heating pads work by sending electric currents through thin wires woven into the fabric. These currents generate heat, but they also create an electromagnetic field, often referred to as EMF, that surrounds your body while you sleep. And unlike other household devices placed a few feet away, electric blankets lie directly against your skin, covering your chest, abdomen, and legs. This means your entire body is exposed to low-level radiation for hours at a time, precisely when your cells are supposed to be resting, repairing, and regenerating. For younger people, the body may tolerate this kind of exposure with few noticeable effects. But for seniors, especially those over 65, it's a different story entirely. The body's ability to regulate inflammation weakens with age, and exposure to EMFs during sleep may silently trigger the production of stress molecules. Over time, This added inflammation can worsen chronic conditions like arthritis, disrupt your heart rhythm, and interfere with deep restorative sleep. Let me share the story of Dorothy, a 75-year-old retired nurse from Minnesota. Winters in her town are long and bitter, and for years she relied on her electric blanket to help her sleep through the cold. She used it every night, keeping it on low heat until morning. She never thought it could be causing any harm. But gradually, Dorothy began to notice something wasn't right. Her joints were stiffer in the mornings, even though the warmth had helped her fall asleep at night. She began waking up with strange muscle aches and heart palpitations that made her feel uneasy. At first, she blamed it on aging, on weather, on stress. But after reading an article about EMF exposure and sleep, she decided to try something different, just for a few weeks. She replaced her electric blanket with a thick down comforter and layered her bed with flannel sheets and a wool mattress pad. On especially cold nights, she used a hot water bottle at her feet or heated a rice-filled bag in the microwave to pre-warm the sheets. Within 3 weeks, the difference was remarkable. Her joint pain eased, her heart rhythm steadied, and she reported sleeping more soundly than she had in months. Scientific studies now support what Dorothy experienced. Research from the Environmental Health Institute shows that extended EMF exposure during sleep may increase inflammatory markers in older adults by as much as 35%. This type of inflammation doesn't cause immediate pain, but it slowly wears down the body's resilience, affecting everything from joint mobility to cardiac function. The quiet, steady presence of EMF against your body during sleep might not feel like much, but it adds up over time. So what can you do if you still need warmth in the winter months? Fortunately, there are safe and effective alternatives. Natural insulation like wool, down, or flannel holds body heat well and allows you to stay warm without relying on electricity. For added comfort, pre-warming your bed with a hot water bottle or a microwave-safe heating pad filled with rice or flaxseed can provide gentle heat without the risk of EMF exposure. And if you must use an electric heating device, consider turning it on only before bedtime, then unplugging it before you fall asleep. Never sleep through the night with it running, especially if it's in direct contact with your skin. You'll give your body the gift of warmth when it needs it most, while still protecting it during those crucial hours of healing and rest. In our later years, comfort becomes more important, but so does protection. Your body is doing its best to keep you steady, mobile, and clear-minded. The small choices you make in your nighttime routine can have a ripple effect on how you feel in the morning. And sometimes the most nurturing thing you can do for yourself isn't adding more. It's gently taking something away. So tonight, before you crawl into bed, ask yourself, is this warmth coming from a source that heals or one that quietly harms? Your body deserves the kind of rest that truly restores, and you have the power to create that starting now. But what if that comfort came with a hidden cost? A layer of invisible stress quietly pressing on your body every night, right when you're supposed to be healing in sleep. It's something few talk about, yet more researchers are raising red flags. Electric blankets and heating pads don't just emit warmth. They also generate low-frequency electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, which surround your body as long as the device is turned on. These EMFs are a form of non-ionizing radiation. While far weaker than X-rays or microwaves, their prolonged, close-range exposure can still affect your body's internal systems, especially when you're sleeping. That's when your body is supposed to be restoring itself. For older adults whose cells are already more vulnerable to inflammation and oxidative stress, this nightly exposure could tip the balance toward fatigue and dysfunction. You may not notice the effects immediately. You might just wake up with stiff joints, an aching back, or a racing heartbeat that fades by morning. These symptoms are often brushed off as signs of aging, but they might also be your body's way of telling you it's not getting the deep, uninterrupted rest it needs. That's what happened to Dorothy, a 75-year-old retiree from Minnesota. She loved her electric blanket, especially during long, frigid winters. But over time, her sleep became lighter. Her knees ached even on days she barely moved. More concerning, she began experiencing heart flutters, quick, irregular beats that left her uneasy. Medical tests showed no clear cause, but something still felt off. Then she came across an article on EMFs and aging and decided to make a change. She put away her electric blanket and instead layered her bed with flannel sheets, a wool-lined comforter, and a soft mattress pad. She also developed a simple new bedtime routine, heating a rice-filled cloth bag in the microwave, tucking it under the covers to warm the bed, then removing it before sleep. Within 3 weeks, Dorothy's sleep quality had noticeably improved. The palpitations stopped, her joints felt looser, and she began waking up feeling refreshed, clearer, stronger, and more rested. Modern research supports what Dorothy experienced. Prolonged exposure to EMFs, particularly when the entire body is immersed in the field as with electric blankets, can elevate inflammatory cytokines, chemical signals that activate the immune system. When overactivated, they can contribute to low-grade chronic inflammation throughout the body. This type of inflammation is a silent driver behind many age-related issues, including joint pain, fatigue, and cardiovascular strain. This doesn't mean electric blankets are inherently dangerous. It's about how and when they're used. Sleeping for 8 hours wrapped in EMFs may seem harmless, but for an aging body that needs deeper recovery, this added stress can interfere with healing. It subtly drains the energy meant for repair and adds another burden to your rest. So what's the better alternative? Natural fibers like wool, fleece, or flannel offer excellent warmth without needing electricity. And if extra heat is needed, try a hot water bottle or a microwave-warmed rice pad. These simple solutions provide comfort without radiation and give your body a more peaceful space to restore itself overnight. And if you do choose to use an electric blanket, consider turning it off once your bed feels comfortably warm. Let your body rest through the night without unnecessary exposure to EMFs. Sometimes the most powerful form of self-care isn't in what you add, it's in what you remove. By creating a sleep space that's warm, soothing, and free of hidden interference, you allow your body to do what it was designed to do: restore and heal. Because restful sleep isn't just a luxury in our later years, it's a form of natural medicine, and you deserve every bit of it. As we grow older, our bodies become more sensitive, not only to illnesses or physical injuries, but also to the subtle stressors around us. For many seniors, some of the most overlooked threats aren't outside the home, but right beside the bed. Digital alarm clocks, Wi-Fi routers, plug-in air fresheners, charging phones, and electric blankets may seem harmless. Yet each emits low levels of electromagnetic energy or chemicals that your body can still register, especially during sleep, when healing should be your body's top priority. These invisible forces can interfere with sleep quality, disrupt heart rhythm, impair memory, and even worsen joint discomfort. And since the body's natural repair processes slow down with age, cells take longer to recover, and sleep becomes more fragile, something as small as a device near your pillow can tip the balance toward fatigue or discomfort. But here's the encouraging part. You don't have to fear your bedroom. You just need to rethink it. One simple shift, like moving your phone farther from the bed or unplugging the Wi-Fi router at night, can help your brain and body return to a deeper, more healing rest. Even small decisions, like what you keep plugged in, can either support or sabotage your body's ability to restore itself. Every night is an opportunity to heal, and your body still knows how, if you give it the quiet space it needs. You've already made it this far with strength and resilience. Now it's time to let your bedroom become a true sanctuary of peace and repair. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this video has helped you see your bedroom differently, as a space that can truly nourish your rest and support your well-being. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that have the biggest impact on how we sleep, think, and feel each day. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you kept any of these items near your bed? What's one small change you're ready to make tonight? Leave a comment below, or just type the word HOPE if this video gave you encouragement or a new perspective. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And if you know someone over 60 who might benefit, please share this with them. It could help them sleep more peacefully too. Until next time, may your nights be restful, your mornings bright, and your heart calm and steady. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.